Yeah, I mean, like, you can go through the line and they'll offer you a bubble, they'll offer you aluminum foil, they'll offer you needles, they'll offer you everything that you need to use drugs.
Continuing on with the episode with Wendy Carlson, we're talking to Billy, another really interesting resident at the Olympia encampment that they call the jungle. Honestly, it's been a really enlightening day. Whenever I come into these kind of encampments, I meet lots and lots of people that I definitely probably would have used drugs with. And so there's just like this familiarity when I come into these environments. Regardless of who it is that I'm talking to. But today's been really interesting for me personally, because the three people that we're talking to today are people that really, and I guess they're changing, but they're really not the normal residents that you would meet in an encampment. And so, yeah, I'm going to introduce you, Billy. Billy also has another really interesting story, and it's a story that's synonymous with a lot of my problems with our current social service structure. And I don't know, like, what your perspective is on, you know, the fact that they don't come out and they're not really trying to understand the whole familial picture with an individual. But Billy specifically ended up in this encampment in a really strange way. And so, Billy, do you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Billy. I did 4.5 years of wildland firefighting. My wife and I, we had a son in Bozeman, Montana, and unfortunately, things were bad, and they had to transfer him to Missoula in the NICU because he had a swallowing problem. And we was there for about 3 months, and that's a 3-hour drive back and forth to Bozeman to Missoula. And I was a manager working at Super 8, but we became homeless because I was with my son in the hospital and I couldn't keep up with our apartment bills back in Bozeman. So we ended up losing our apartment.
And you have other kids?
Yeah.
How many other kids do you have?
I have my oldest son, and that's Junior. He's 3 going 4.
And he was in your care at the time when you guys were going back and forth to the NICU.
Yeah, he was staying with my mother-in-law.
And where is your son now?
He's with foster care.
He's in foster care. So he was removed from your care because you became homeless?
Yep.
In Montana?
Yep.
No,
here in Washington.
Oh, here in Washington State.
Yeah, they couldn't help us out no more in Montana, or they didn't have no programs or any kind of stuff like that. And we couldn't be in the shelter because we had a family. So we heard about Washington, and then we came out here. And
what did you hear about Washington?
Oh, we heard that they help out with housing. You can get into immediate housing if you have family and stuff like that, and that's not at all the case.
Well, the interesting thing, when I worked in social services in Seattle for a number of years after I got clean, and there was this going narrative, because a lot of stuff was becoming very public, and there was a going narrative that said that they continued to say that the homeless in Seattle were native to Seattle. And as a service provider who did intakes for people that came in consistently in the social service structure, our homeless industrial complex, at least 50% of the people were coming from other places because of that kind of narrative right there. Because there is an underground sort of communication railroad that tells people where stuff is. So when you guys came, did you also have your youngest child that was in the NICU? So he had gotten out of the NICU, but you guys had lost your housing because you were trying to care for your family's needs. And now you're entirely homeless as a family.
Yeah, we came out here because because when we was out there in Missoula, I was working down the street from the hospital at a gas station. So I was still trying to, keep up with that, but I was only making $10 an hour working at this gas station. Yeah. And I wasn't keeping up with my $1,500 bill and all that other stuff. Well, like with my rent and all that, so I couldn't keep up with that. And then plus with my son's medical bills and stuff like that, and the stuff that he was going through. And so when we came out here, it just all fell apart. And I mean, like I had some money left over for when we came out here. I bought us a hotel for a couple months and trying to get help and talking to Family Support Center and talking to DCYF and everything else like that. And you go and you they give you these assessments like a like a heat
Like
rate.
a coordinated entry for all assessment.
Yes. And just because my wife and I don't abuse drugs or do fentanyl or anything else like that, and we're not in a domestic violence situation, we're low down on the risk scale. So
Because you don't have risks, you don't have help.
yeah, we've been waiting on this now for about a year and a half.
And you and your wife are both living in this encampment. Have you ever experienced anything like this in your life?
No.
And do you feel safe?
For me, yeah. For her, no.
Okay.
No, it's just I grew up in Kansas City. I didn't grow up in the best areas growing up. So I mean, this is not as worse
This
as
is
I've
like old
seen.
home stuff.
Right. And it's not as worse as I've seen, but for my wife, she's never been in this kind of situation. She's never been homeless, or she's never seen stuff like this. And my wife has seen me do CPR multiple times on people, and it's just like she talks to me about it. And I did firefighting for about 4.5 years, so it comes natural to me. But for her, it's something I don't like her seeing, so it's a little bit more harder for her.
Are you guys able to see your kids?
Yes.
So you're seeing them regularly. Have you been able to get a job since you've been here in Washington?
It's so hard because being homeless and then being downtown, you got to unpack your tent and everything else like that, put stuff away and make sure that your stuff don't get stolen. And that's what happened is I had my social security card. I had everything I needed for a job, but it's just that our stuff got stolen, and that's why.
And they stole all your stuff. How did you end up in the jungle?
Well, because we would try to camp out by the mission and everything else like that, and about 6 o'clock in the morning, cops be coming up to your tent, shaking your tent, moving your tent aggressively, and just saying, hey, like, you guys can't be here and it's time to pack up. Or even one officer told us that you can either get citation or you can go to jail for it.
But they never offered you shelter.
No. They never gave us no resources for no shelters. They can say go talk to a Family Support Center, but we've been doing that, and we've been talking to the Pear Blossom program, and it's just a waiting list on everything. And like I said, just because we don't do drugs or we're not in a DV relationship, our score ain't up that high. But we have a disabled son, and that didn't even matter.
Yes.
Would you take a tiny home if you got one?
If I could get my whole family together, yes, I would.
So you want something that you could bring your kids to?
Yes. But I wouldn't want them in kind of a tiny home area because,
right.
that's drugs.
You
and,
want an
It's all that-
apartment or, something you can be a family together.
right. Yeah.
So I asked the other two the same thing. What would you say? I'm assuming it's probably a lot, you feel invisible, like,
I do.
yeah.
It's just like they treat everybody the same. It's just you can go in there and you can be completely sober and everything else like that and not have a history, but somebody that is on drugs or something like that, and it just seems like they help out more with somebody that's going through a very bad situation in their life and they are abusing drugs and stuff like that, than a family that's trying to get their stuff together and trying to be a family again. And it just feels like my words ain't being heard, or like you don't hear the lone cries that people are out here trying, but it's just hard to stay away from the drugs, the violence, and everything that goes on out here.
I'm trying to put myself in your situation, and I can't imagine for, a year and a half staying positive about it, because it sounds like from what you're saying is that you've tried all these avenues and for me, I'll speak for myself, that would be hard to stay positive about the situation and feel like maybe am I ever going to get out of this?
Right.
Like, am I going to be able to get out of this place, get an apartment and get my kids back? Am I?
Sometimes, I mean, sometimes it does feel hopeless.
Yeah.
Like that help ain't never going to come, but
Yeah.
you just got to keep on having that faith. And looking at my phone every day, I can see my kids, and that's what gives me the faith to keep going and the encouragement to, we can get out of this. But it's hard.
What would it take to get you out of it, do you think?
Right now, it's just I'm waiting on my Social Security card, and I got everything else. It's just the Social Security card is taking the longest, and all we need is just housing. That's it. That's all we need. And we can have our family right back together. That's the only separation from me and my kids right now is a house. That's it.
And it sounds like you're employable. You have skills to, get a job somewhere. I mean,
Yeah, doing some.
You just need
I just took a
help
program a few weeks ago to pass my forklifts and heavy operator equipments and all that. So I can do all that. It's just now waiting on a Social Security card and trying to find a job that would hire you being homeless.
So you've been going to the Family Resource Center. What kind of stuff have they been able to offer you?
They helped us out with a sleeping bag.
So out of the service providers that come out to these kind of places or that you've engaged with that have done outreach on the streets, how many of them have asked you if you have kids? None. Have any of them ever offered you clean using kits?
Yes.
And you tell them that you're not a drug addict?
Not at all.
And what is the impact when you tell them that?
It's kind of like a shocker to them, it's just,
Yeah.
I mean, like I asked for Narcan and stuff like that just in case somebody
Just
would
in case
need it.
somebody around you ODs.
I mean, I got Narcan and gloves on me right now. It's just, yeah, it happens all the time. So, and then these people, they come out here and then they offer you Narcan, but then yet they offer you the same thing that you need the Narcan for.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about that. I like that you just painted that picture because I have a huge problem with that.
Oh,
because we're catering to a population that's destroying themselves.
Yeah, I mean, like you can go through the line and they'll offer you a bubble, they'll offer you aluminum foil, they'll offer you needles, they'll offer you everything that you need to use drugs.
To destroy your life in the same way that got you out here in the first place.
But
Not
don't worry,
you,
we got
but,
Narcan for you though.
Right.
Yeah.
So you can Narcan yourself in case you OD with the stuff that we just gave you to. Is that wild to you?
It's
as
crazy,
a guy who doesn't do drugs?
Yes. Especially coming from a paramedic background and, being a firefighter and everything else like that. It's just that they're giving them the same supply to OD again. Or to, it's just, they're giving them the same stuff to use drugs with that they could be offering like better stuff. Like, yeah, the Narcan's fine just in case something happens, but take all that drug stuff away and they don't need that.
Maybe offer them an opportunity to be educated and get a job or
besides
find
at the
some
end of
kind
the
of way
line,
to be housed.
Right. Besides at the end of the line, besides offering, needles and stuff like that, offer them, like, hey, here's a program that we heard about that can help you get a job, or hey, this is something else, like help.
Have you ever seen anything like that happen?
Never.
And how long have you been out here?
Been out here a year and a half.
And so you've interacted with a lot of service providers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. How often do they come out to places like this?
Oh, they come out here like a couple of times a week.
Really?
Yeah.
Gosh.
They help out people with propane. They help out with sometimes they help out with clothes, but they help out with hygienes and stuff like that. But
do they ask people if they want treatment?
No. They never asked me, and I've never heard them ask, but
yeah.
That's been a common thing that I've heard. Do you feel like, and this is just sort of off topic, is one of my tangents because it's stuff that I'm passionate about that I know, but I like to hear it from the people that are living in it. Do you feel like if they offered less comfort material and more opportunity, that it would push people in a direction to have to get their life together? Like, for example, if I didn't make it so easy for people to be homeless and stay warm in their homelessness, but actually offered them opportunity to get out of homelessness, that things would change?
I think so, yes.
Yeah.
So, like, when you weren't homeless, and, homelessness has been around for a long time. So when you weren't homeless, and the perception that you had in your head and maybe the judgment, you know, and now you're living it. What has changed now? What's your perception now that you thought you had when you had a roof over your head?
I've always liked to see people as equals, you know, and everything else like that. And me growing up Christian my whole life and everything, I don't like to judge people. But now, from going to when I had the nice paying job, to when I had a nice apartment and everything else like that, to coming out here, I can understand why. You know, I can feel why people are out here and why they do what they do and everything else like that, because they feel alone. They don't feel like no one cares. They don't feel like there's no one helping them. And
they're just helping them destroy themselves.
pretty much, yes. Because I've never seen nobody come out here and like try to offer any kind of resources or any kind of programs or anything else like that. They may talk about it, but other than that, I've never seen nobody like actually get help from it. Like any of these people that come out here and help.
Yeah.
So besides food and stuff like that. So that's just what we feel like. You said we feel like we're left in the dark. You know?
Like you just want someone to come up and say, Billy, we got first and last month's rent for you. We're, you know.
We got this training program.
Yeah.
We want you to participate in it. We're going to do these things to try to help you get on your feet.
Right. And I mean, like nothing in life is free. You got to work for everything that you
100%.
have.
Yeah.
But it's just
Sometimes
getting
doors
that
opening
extra
can
push through.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And that's
Yeah.
it. I mean, like right now, it's just if I could get a job, get a house, and then my family back together, I mean, we would be set.
You would take that opportunity and you would
And
not
run with it.
squander it.
Nope. Nope. I mean, I want my kids back. I've been away from them for a while. I mean, I still see them 3 times a week, but that's just 3 times a week to the full like 24 hours I can have them with me all the time.
Yeah.
So it's hard.
If somebody did offer you an opportunity, like say somebody fundraised some money to try to put you and your family in a place, how long would it take for you to be able to, you know, even if you had some help getting some employment, how long do you think that you would need that help before you were able to start providing for your family?
If I had a couple months to help, like give me time to get a job, because it's not hard for me to get a job. It's not. But if it could help out for like a couple of months, have me save up, and then after that, me pay the rest, I could do it just that way. I just need a little help with a little bit of saving and getting an apartment and a job and getting my family out of this place that we're in.
Is there anything else you want to say?
I don't want people to feel like they're doing it alone anymore. Like there is help out there, and there is people that care. I can see that you guys are caring, because you guys are actually out here and, you know, you're talking to people, getting their stories and everything else like that. So I hope this works. I really do.
I mean, I don't know if this is, but Ginny and I have talked about this. Like, I think to get people out of whatever situation they're in, it's, you know, that old saying, it takes a village to raise kids. And sometimes it's going to take a village to, you know, help people get out of this. Just like I was talking to Purple, like, you know, you got to do your part. It sounds like you're more than willing to do your part, you know, and I think, you know, we just as human beings need to help out other human beings, you know, and, you know, if you're willing to do your part, I think it's our duty to help you out, because any one of us could have taken a different road, you know, and fallen on bad luck, whatever the situation is. And I would hope to God that somebody would, you know, I have 2 sons, that would pick my son up and help them if they were falling, you know, on hard times, you know, and I think we as a society need to do that and not just talk about it. We need to actually do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I agree.
Okay.
No.
Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you guys as well.
Yep.